So, good day to my dear students. For this recording, I am going to discuss the water testing laboratory. No, so first and foremost, what is water? So, syempre, we all know from community and public health that water is a commodity one cannot live without. No, so it's one of the important elements of life. No, alam naman natin that without water, um, no one can survive. No, so with that, it is important to make sure that we provide or we are provided, no? It's a right, 'di ba, na we are given safe, no, and potable water. And with that, dito po papasok, no, yung mga laws and regulations about water supply, no? So let's begin with Presidential Decree 856, which is the Code of Sanitation in the Philippines, no? So this is um this uh document stated the importance of um, examining water by performing no analysis by different water testing laboratories, and these water testing laboratories should be accredited, no, and then the water that is tested should be in compliance with the PNSDW, uh Philippine National Standards for Drinking Water, no, or the AO 2007-0012, no. So we also have the Philippine Clean Water Act, which is the RA 9275. No, this was signed by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo on March 22, 2004, and it was enacted May 6, 2004. No, so in this law, no, it specifies the importance of protection, preservation, and revival of our water systems in the Philippines. And then also it's stated means not to comprehensively create a policy about quality management, no, uh amidst the economic growth, no, of the Philippines. We also have the Administrative Order 31, series of 1979, which is the requirements for the accreditation of water analysis laboratories. So again, the water that is tested should comply with the PNSDW, or the Philippine National Standards for Drinking Water. Yeah. And then we have the Administrative Order number 2006-0024, which is the rules and regulations regarding the accreditation of water labs, no, or water analysis labs in the Philippines, no. So um, the aim of this administrative order by the DOH is to evaluate and monitor the quality of services rendered by laboratories that functions, no, for water testing all throughout the Philippines. So its objective is to promote public health, no, promote safety and welfare by ensuring accuracy and precision and reliability of results with regards to drinking water testing. So to implement the Section 12 of Chapter 2 of the Presidential Decree 856, which is the Code of Sanitation of the Philippines, now we have to regulate water testing laboratories through accreditation by the DOH. So let's discuss the PNSDW of 2017, or the Philippine National Standards for Drinking Water. So PNSDW prescribes the standards and procedures in making sure that the water is of quality now to consume, no. So um all water, no, should be tested in all service providers, no. So MAPA water suppliers, water refilling stations, ice manufacturers, even food establishments, no, even mga buildings, no, mga residential, commercial buildings, no, they all need, no, or they are all required to have their water tested, no. So in the definition of terms ng PNSTW, No, let me just run through the definition of terms. No, so of course we have the acceptability. So it's the physical and chemical quality of water. No, it refers to the appearance, the odor, and the taste. No, which is safe no to be consumed by the consumer. Um, Contamination, of course, no, is a term that refers to the presence of the substances found in water that makes water less desirable or less potable for consumption. And then we also have drinking water, of course. And then here, let me also highlight the term limit of quantitation. So the analyte concentration that produces a signal sufficiently stronger than the blank. No? So um, it's the concentration that produces a signal above the reagent water blank. So kapag it's beyond no, the reagent water blank signal, ibig sabihin, it has a concentration higher no than the one that is considered to be a standard or safe. Parang ganun siya. And then we also have the maximum allowable level, the highest value of a contaminant allowed in drinking water. We also have the method detection limit. So it's a contaminant concentration that when processed through a complete method, it produces a 99% probability that is different from the blank. No, and then of course potable or safe water. It's a water no that is within no the standard limits of this PNSDW. So what are the standards for water sampling and examination? Doon tayo mag-focus dun sa examination no and sampling kasi that's the focus no of our role and responsibility as medical technologists in this type of laboratory. Now, so take note that when you want to perform no water sampling or water testing, no, sorry. If you want to perform testing, the water samples should only be collected by a certified water sampling personnel. So all water samples for regulatory purposes shall be examined only, of course, in an accredited laboratory by the DOH. And all methods should be, uh, or all methods na ipo-perform no, for the analysis of water should be um, based no, sa kung ano po yung mga standard methods na prescribe po no, dito sa manual no, given by the DOH. No? So examination of water samples for radiological quality shall only be done by the PNRI or the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. No? So again, no, may iba-iba kasi examinations performed. You have the physical, chemical, the biological, and chemical and the radiological. So the radiological quality, it is only performed no in PNRI. Hence, it is not performed in a water testing laboratory. Okay. Then, what else? So, drinking water from refilling stations, vending machines, mobile tanks, bulk water supply shall be subject for initial and periodic examinations for microbiological, physical, chemical, and radiological quality. So, initial testing, no, prior the operation, no, of that um vendor, basically. And then, periodic examination, meaning, from time to time, kailangan po nagpo-perform sila ng water testing. Okay, and then the tests or the parameters that should be done no, in the water are microbiological, physical, chemical, and radiological quality. So, for the microbiological examination, no, so syempre dito papasok yung knowledge natin as a medical technologist because in BACTE, we do perform no water analysis. So, um, it is important that we provide no the total coliforms, the E. coli present, and heterotrophic bacteria present no in 100 ml water. No, so those are uh one of the tests. No, one of the tests performed no in um water analysis. And then, of course, as what I've mentioned, we also have the physical and the chemical and the radiological parameters. Again, radiological is only performed in PNRI. Okay, so for the interpretation of results, so all providers, all vendors shall consult the committee for local drinking water quality or the DOH or local health office for the interpretation of results. Kapag may E. coli, I hope you know class kung ano po yung E. coli, Syempre E. coli, specifically the EHEC, yung strain na 0127H7, I believe that is discussed. That is always discussed in CPH, E. coli is a bacteria that is present or that might be present in water, and when it's present in water it can really cause diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and of course to death. So if there is presence of E. coli or coliforms, sanitary survey should be conducted 24 hours to determine the cause of contamination. Kasi syempre kailangan malaman bakit po merong E. coli or bakit nagpo-positive si E. coli yung water. Ibig sabihin, may possible na contamination from feces, may fecal contamination, Kasi syempre, water provided should be free, from fecal contamination. So, kailangan po hanapin, And then, resampling should be performed, Um, and then, at the same time, sabi dito, the drinking water service provider shall issue an advisory to boil water, no? Sa mga household, So, just to make sure that before consumption of this water, na-boil muna, just to make sure that the E. coli or the coliforms will not cause disease, or infection dun po sa mga magko-consume noon. Yan. And then let's go to the parameters, So we have mandatory parameters, meaning these are tests that are required to be examined in all drinking water service providers. So these tests directly affect health through acute or chronic exposure, and it will render water unacceptable for drinking, or it means that merong contamination dun sa water kapag hindi po na-meet yung safe levels for these mandatory parameters. So the mandatory parameters specifically for E. coli, and then the residual disinfectant should be performed, at least every 3 years, And then so these are the 10 mandatory parameters. Okay, so these are all required to be tested in different drinking water service providers. So we do have the E. coli, the coliforms. For the microbiological, for the chemical, we have arsenic, cadmium, lead, nitrate. And then for the physical, we do have the color, turbidity, pH, TDS, and the disinfectant residual. So those are the mandatory parameters that should be tested in water samples. Apart from mandatory parameters, we have the primary and the secondary parameters. So primary parameters class are site-specific. So these are chemical impurities in water that could affect health. And then we also have the secondary parameters. So what are these tests, So focus na lang natin yung knowledge natin sa mga parameters kung saang sa mga tests kung considered ba sila as mandatory, primary, or secondary. So in your screen, you will notice or you will see the list no, of the primary parameters. No? So, including this slide, these are still primary no, parameters. And we only have 12 10 mandatory, and then 56 primary, and then the 12 secondary parameters. Okay, but the most important would be, of course, the mandatory parameters. Okay, so again, the testing should only be performed by the DOH accredited water testing laboratories. Allow me to call them LDWA. No, LDWA para mas mabilis na lang. And nakakabulol din kasi pag mahaba. No, so LDWA means uh Laboratory for Drinking Water Analysis. No? So again, let me use LDWA. Okay, so all accredited laboratories or all LDWA should provide no highest quality service. No? So they should meet the or they should perform no the quality system or the quality assurance no just to make sure that all services are performed based on the standards. Okay, so laboratory personnel shall be certified only by the DOH. Okay, for the water laboratory, of course, the LDWA, they should comply no, with the provisions of this order and should secure accreditation no, from the DOH and again perform a quality um service no and develop a manual of operations no describing their own policies and plans no depende po kung paano po yung workflow no in their laboratory. So let's talk about the current um rules and regulations no for LDY, and that is stated in AO or Administrative Order 2020-0031 no signed July 17, 2020. No? So, this is the updated guidelines established no, for LDWA, no, Laboratories for Drinking Water. And it is, or this one is actually revised, no, so that it will meet no, the goal of the Universal Healthcare Act. So the objective of this AO is to seek no an updated guideline or to provide an updated guideline with the LDWA, okay, to generate accurate and reliable results for water testing. So all laboratories or all LDWA should comply no with what is stated no in this in what is stated no in this AO. And then, syempre, kung hindi sila mag-comply, no, they will not be given a license to operate as an LDWA. Okay, so LDWA, no, actually do not use the term LTO, no, or license to operate as the usual clinical laboratories. What do they have is what we call the Certificate of Accreditation or COA. No, this is a formal authorization coming from the DOH, no, that the LDWA no seeks to perform drinking water analysis and then licensed na sila to perform no the water analysis no so they have this COA. Again, we have the LDWA, Laboratory for Drinking Water Analysis. So again, they perform either microbiological, physical, and or chemical analysis. Again, the radiological quality is only performed by the PNRI. Okay, so again, we have the mandatory parameters, the 10 mandatory parameters. You have to memorize them. Of course, we have the microbiological, the E. coli, or the coliforms. And then you have the chemical lead, nitrate, arsenic, cadmium. And then the physical, we have the color turbidity, the TDS, the pH, and the disinfectant residual. And then we have the PNSDW, so which provides the basis for the standards in safe drinking water. No? And then, of course, water sample, the water analysis, the quality manual, syempre, it describes the system and procedures performed, no, by the laboratory. Okay. So, yeah. So, general guidelines, all LD shall secure a certificate uh, of certificate of accreditation. No, certificate of accreditation. And it should be always updated, no, kasi it means that they comply, no, with the regulatory standards set by the DOH. Okay, so the issuance and renewal of the certificate of accreditation is only given by the HSFRB, no? The Health Facilities and Services Regulatory Bureau, no? And then the CHD is the sorry, Center for Health Department, no? RLED, no? So again, they will be the one to provide na initial issuance of the COA and the renewal of the COA. Again, the PNRI is the one responsible in performing the radiological analysis of water sample. Now, the LDWA shall not perform any examinations beyond its category. So, meron din silang service capability, no, yung ating mga LDWA. And they should not provide, again, they should not provide examinations beyond, no, their category. Okay. So, what are the different classifications of LDWA? No, so, syempre, first is under ownership. No, so, alam natin pag ownership, meron tayong government or private. No, I believe that is, ano na yan, self-explanatory na yan, di ba, yung ownership. We do also have the institutional character. So again, we have the institutional based. So when you say institutional based, it operates under a DOH licensed health facility. So usually mga hospitals, no, that can perform water testing analysis. And then we have the non-institutional based. So these are water lab or LD1 that operates independently and is not attached to a DOH licensed health facility. So common na mga LDWA that we have here in Cavite are, in my knowledge, are non-institutional based, no? So yun po kasi mga ginagamit ng mga students namin for research purposes, no, ng water. So mga non-institutional based na LDWA. Yan. And then for service capability, we have the A, B, and C. No? So madali lang. No? Hindi niyan primary, secondary, tertiary. No, you just have A, B, and C. Now, so for A, that is under the they can only perform microbiological. No? So, meaning, E. coli, coliform testing. Yun po yung dinedetect nila sa water samples. For classification B, they perform physico-chemical. So, the other 9 mandatory parameters, so yung lead, arsenic, cadmium, nitrate, and then you have the physical, the color, turbidity, disinfectant, residual pH, and the TDS. Yeah. And then for classification C, it's a combination of both A and B, no? Meaning they can perform both microbiological and the physicochemical analysis. So they can perform all, no, all the 10 mandatory parameters. Let's go to the technical requirements, no? So first is the physical plant. So syempre, the LDWA should be located in a permanent building with adequate water and power supply, no? And then may mga requirements po na nakaspecify So like mga fixtures, equipment, sink, and syempre personal requirements, nandun po yun sa Annex B nitong document na to, nitong AO na to, no? And then, of course, for the space requirement, now this is the minimum workspace requirement for classification A, which can perform the microbiological analysis at least 20 square meter. For sterile room and media preparation area. For classification B, which can perform physicochemical, should have at least 50 square meter. For wet chemistry, ICP-AAS room, no? Atomic absorption spectrophotometry, spectrophotometer room, and chemical storage room. No? And then for classification C, so syempre 50 plus 20, that would be 70 square meters. For the space requirement no nung services offered no for the microbiological, physicochemical. Okay. Syempre should have the LDWA should have a benchtop area for processing. They should have a waste disposal system, physical provisions for effective safety procedures, no? And then for personnel, okay, so for personnel ng LDWA, the head of the LDWA should be a competent individual, no? Should be a competent individual, okay? They should have the specialized skill, no, to perform the services, no? Depende po sa category ng laboratory. Okay, for the water analysts, okay, it is actually trained, no? Kailangan trained sila ng isang NRL, no? We have the NRL for Environment Occupational, wait, I forgot each. Environment Occupational, uh-huh, wait lang. Baka magkamali ako eh. So, i-review ko lang. Environment occupational health, toxicology, and micronutrient assay. Ayun. So, NRL EOHTM is Environmental, Occupational Health, Toxicology, and Micronutrient Assay, which is located in East Avenue Medical Center. So, they are the ones providing training no, for um, analysts to be no? So they should have at least 2 years experience no in water testing procedures no relevant to the service capability of the laboratory. So cla for classification A na LDWA, you should have either of the three RMTs, certified microbiologist, and then you have the registered food technologist. For classification B, you should have either of the three, registered chemist or either of the two, registered chemist, registered chemical technician under the supervision of a registered chemist. And then, of course, for classification B, you should have one who can perform a microbiological assay, which is for the coliform testing, and one which can perform a physicochemical um, analysis. So for water chemical analysis, only a registered chemist shall certify a result. So like for example, ano yung mga chemical analysis? Yun nga, sa mandatory natin meron tayong cadmium, nitrate, lead, no? So the one that will certify, no, chemical results, no, should be a registered chemist. And then we also have a lab aid. So lab aid, syempre, sila po yung parang mga ate kuya natin which will provide support in the maintenance of the laboratory, ganyan. So, they should have at least 8 hours training, no, for relevant procedures in the lab. And then, of course, water samplers, the one who collects the water sample, they should be certified by the DOH. Okay, so syempre, all LDWA should have the necessary equipment, reagents, and supplies. Depende po sa methods or analysis or the classification of their LDWA. No? So, lahat ng kailangan dapat meron sila. They should have a record of equipment and instruments preventive maintenance, no? So yung PMS, calibration, kung may history of damage, malfunction, and repair, it should be documented. And then they should also have a list of the reagents, no, and supplies in their laboratory. They should have or they should select, no, appropriate methods, no, based on the um standard methods prescribed, no, by the DOH, and of course the methods that is um prescribed also, no, in the PNSDW. And then modification, no, of PNSDW analytical methods, no, shall only be allowed if provided approved, no, by the NRL. Again, the NRL is your NRL EOHTM, Environmental Occupational Health, Toxicology, and Micronutrient Assay. Okay. Maximum allowable limit for each parameter is actually set by the PNSDW, and it is strictly followed. So there is a list of the maximum allowable limit per parameter or per test, no, in the parameters. So they should have a quality manual. Syempre, the quality manual is actually your SOP, no? So yung mga sistema, work instruction, yung workflow, paano ba mag-handle ng sample, ano yung policy natin when it comes to performing quality controls, ano yung ano yung procedure kapag mayroong mga preventive maintenance, no? Or yung mga ano yung step-by-step procedure kapag may mga emergencies. So, doon po yun makikuha, no, sa kanilang quality manual. What else? They should have a technical manual. So, it's a list of procedures, no, that is performed in bawat method na gagawin nila for each of the test, no, dun sa parameters natin. No, so mga test principle, mga interferences, ano po yung ways to prepare the reagents, the standards, para po mag-calibrate, para mag-QC, no, nandun po yun sa technical manual ng LDWA. All lab reports should be accurate and shall bear the names of the head of the laboratory, the analyst, and the testing facility. No, so again, head of the lab, analyst, and the testing facility. No, yung names po nila. The head of the lab and the analyst must affix their signatures, no, in all reports prior to issuance. And then, again, for chemical analysis, it is only certified by a registered chemist, no? And then, sa chemist, meron silang seal, no? No, so, kailangan selyado, no? Parang sa notary, di ba pag nagpapanotary kayo, may seal yon. Ganon din po, no? Sa mga chemist, no? So, all reports for chemical analysis ay dapat may seal ni chemist. Okay, e-signatures are still considered valid, no? But it should be in compliance with the Electronic Commerce Act or the RA 8972. For our outsourced test or the send out, the issued results should be coming from the referral LDWA. No? So, yun nga, di ba? Kung si Lab A yung nag-collect at si Lab B yung nag-perform, dapat yung resulta nakapangalan pa rin sa Lab B. No? Ganon din siya. No? Same din sa LDWA or sa water testing laboratories. So, all records should be complete, no, from the requests to the sampling records to the analytical reports to the QC. It should always be complete. Personal records, no, like yung mga yung mga trainings na ina-attendan ng mga personnel, ng mga tao sa lab, kailangan naka-keep yun in equipment maintenance records. Yun nga po, yung mga preventive maintenance, computer programs, and electronic data should be kept as well. So all the records should be organized and ready for retrieval. Yan. So, of course, all records should be confidential in accordance with the data privacy law. If there is a change of ownership, there should be a written plan on how to maintain the records and how to transfer the records. So yun nga po, there is a quality assurance program. No, this under quality management, the laboratory or the LDWA should have their quality manual. They should have quality control samples and they should have a record of the quality control to make sure that the uh run, no, yung run or yung analysis every day is accurate and precise. Yan, and the equipment is in good condition. Yeah. There is an internal quality audit at least once a year. Yan. And then for LDWA na meron pong microbiological analysis, these are classification A and C. They should participate in the um EQUAS in the EQUAS annually, while for the chemical analysis, the classification B and C, they should participate in EQUAS every 3 years. Again, that is given by the NRL EOHTM. For outsourcing, no, for send out, the referral laboratory should also be accredited by the DOH, and they should have a memorandum of agreement. Um, the referral or outsourcing would only be valid if there's a breakdown of the machine, no? So the breakdown of the machine should not last for more than 3 months. Yeah. For outsourced microbiological tests, the specimen collection site shall be located within 100-kilometer radius from the address of the DOH accredited LDUA. No, so gagaya din sa mga clinical lab, no? Pag nagsa-satellite, pag nagba-mobile clinical lab tayo, di ba? Ang pwede lang natin puntahan is yung pasok lang dun sa 100-kilometer radius, no, from the laboratory. Ganon din po, no, sa mga microbiological testing. Equipment breakdown for 1 year, no, shall be a basis for the suspension of your uh, certificate, no, yung ating COA. So the certificate of accreditation, no, is depende sa kung anong klase mong classification. So again, A kapag microbiological, B kapag physicochemical, C kapag both microbiological and then physicochemical. Ang COA pa is valid for 3 years, no? And then it's non-transferable. Okay, kapag may change of ownership, change name, they should notify the DOH HFSRB, no? If they fail to notify in writing 15 days, no? Within 15 days, no, upon the change ng mga nung name or ownership in the lab or even the personnel in the lab, it could be a ground for suspension or revocation of the COA. Okay. And then transfer of location, new application na po yung dapat doon. So if they are an institutional-based LDWA, no, they can have the renewal of the COA, no, in the one-stop shop online licensing system. So kumbaga, ano siya parang you will be renewing as a hospital na. Hindi na as a laboratory, a clinical laboratory, as a water testing lab. Hindi na po as a hospital na yung renewal, no. Parang isahang bagsak na lang siya. No, ganun siya kapag mga institutional based, no? The COA shall be placed in a conspicuous area. Same with the LTO, 'di ba? Sa clinical lab. Um, what else? Sige, skip na natin. Okay. This one. No, so application procedure, if you will be applying for an LDWA, no, for to have a COA, no, yung uh certificate. So you should have the registration, sorry, the application form, the SEC registration or the DTI registration. And then for classification B and C, which has a chemical analysis, they should have a certificate to operate or certificate of authority to operate, no, from PRC, Board of Chemistry, no, kasi yung it is based on the Chemistry Profession Act, no. So again, certificate of authority to operate, no, from PRC. And then copy of the payment, no, yung mismo official receipt. Yan. So, initial application or application for renewal, take note that it will be visited, no, by the personnel coming from HFSRB or DOH, no, just to check if the LDUA complied, no, with the accreditation requirements, no. If they fail to comply, no, the representative from the HFSRB will provide a report, no, outlining the deficiencies, and they should comply with the deficiencies within 30 days. No. So monitoring, no. So the monitoring, so representative from the HFSRB can perform, no, surprise visit, no, sa mga LDO to monitor and document, no, compliance of the LDY and the standards. If they fail to allow the representative to visit, no, it could be a ground for a suspension, no, of the LDWA, no. Violations and sanctions, no. So for LDWA, syempre, number one is issuance of the fraudulent water testing results, transferring of lab tests or lab results done, no, in a referral lab, no. Parang sa clinical lab din. Reporting of test results which are not actually done, performing lab procedures beyond, no, their service capability, and then unauthorized use of the name and signature of the head of the lab. Ayan, permitting unauthorized or unregistered persons to perform technical procedures. Like for example, mga chemical technician, they perform the procedures without the supervision of a chemist. 'Di ba? Kailangan may chemists sa tabi nila. Refusal to allow monitoring visits. Ayan. Change in ownership, location head of the lab or lab personnel without informing the HFSRB. Any false statement in the application or other violations similar or analogous to the above. So these are the sanctions. So non-participation sa EQUAS, no? Again, EQUAS, microbiological annual, sa chemical every 3 years. Physico-chemical every 3 years. So first offense is warning. Second offense is 30,000. Third offense is 50,000. And the fourth offense is revocation. Pag non-participative. Pero, if unsatisfactory yung rating mo sa EQUAS, first offense is warning and then record of corrective action. Kailangan makorek mo, no, yung unsatisfactory rating. Second offense, revocation na nung certificate uh, to certificate of accreditation. Ayan, certificate of accreditation. Yan. So, magkaiba po ha ang violation kapag non-participation and then unsatisfactory training. In case of complaints, no, LDWA upon receipt of by HFSRB shall be given due process wherein an investigation shall be conducted. So, kapag may complaints, investigation will be performed, appropriate sanctions, no, will be given, no. Sanctions could either be suspension or revocation of the LDWA. Okay, and then same with the clinical lab, they can still appeal, no, with a decision, no? But the appeal should be done within 10 days after the receipt of the decision. No, failure to file an appeal, no, within 10 days after the receipt of the decision, then the decision will be considered final. Yeah. So let's go to the roles and responsibilities. So we have the HFSRB. So HFSRB is your DOH, Health Facilities and Services Regulatory Bureau. So they will be the one to set standards for the regulation of health facilities, clinical lab, LDWA, drug testing lab, sila po yun. Now, they will create and modify inspection. They check the regulatory policy standards and forms. They will provide consultation technical assistance to the stakeholder, issue the COA for initial application. Again, for initial application. They can perform surprise visit, no, for the LDWA. And then you have the CHD. The CHD is the one to inspect and issue, no? COA for renewal. Yung kanina, HFSRB, initial application. Ito, renewal. They can also perform visits, surprise visits, and then they will be the one to provide the report, no, to DOH on the list of the suspended, revoked, or yung may cease and desist order ng mga LDWA every month. Sorry, quarterly pala. Quarterly. So, 4 times a year. And then the NRL for the environmental, occupational health, toxicology, and micronutrient assay, which is located in East Avenue Medical Center, shall provide referral services for confirmatory testing. Diba? That's the purpose of the NRL, to perform confirmatory testing. They will be the one to provide training also, no, to the analysts, drinking water sampler, yan, mga lab personnel. They will perform quality assurance program, EQUAS, for proficiency testing. Again, annual for microbiological, 3 years for chemical. Every 3 years for chemical. And then they will perform technical evaluation of the reagents and diagnostic kits. Ayun. So, those are the roles and responsibilities, no, of the HFSRB, CHD, and your NRL. Ayan. So that's it, no, for the water testing lab. No, so for just to give you an idea of what happens, no, in water sampling, because I don't know if you will be if you can be able to perform it, no, in your BACTE, no. So we do have the presumptive test, the completed and the confirmed test, no. So sa presumptive testing, you have this water sample, no, this water sample here. Okay. Let me, yeah, this one. You have this water sample here, and then you have liquid media, no, or broth, which is the lactose broth, no. So you have the test tubes, and then you have the small test tube here, no. We call this the Durham tube, no. So you will be placing, no, or adding, no, 10 ml of each sample, or sorry, 10 ml of water sample, no, in the tubes with the lactose broth, and then you will allow it to incubate at least for 24 hours, and then you check for result, no. So, like for example, no, change in the color, no, of the lactose broth is an indicative of a positive test result, and then another one would be a gas present, no, inside the Durham tube. So in this picture, no, you'll see three different tubes, no, with the lactose broth. No, this one in the rightmost tube, right, no, you may color red lang siya. That is a negative, no, for lactose broth. No, but the one in the middle and one in the, sorry, the rightmost pala. Ano ba yan? The rightmost tube, wala na ako. The rightmost tube, which is color red, yun po ay negative. Pero yung nasa left at nasa middle, those are actually positive because it gave a change in the color. And then when you see, and when you look closely at the Durham tube, the tube inside, that is placed upside down, no, nagkaroon po siya ng air. No? Di ba may air doon sa loob ng Durham tube. So it is a presumptive positive, no, for E. coli or coliform. Now, the next test to perform, no, is a completed test. Sorry, a confirmed test, no. So this one, so you get a sample from this tube, these tubes, no, yung leftmost at yung middle, you get at least a small sample, no, from those tubes. So mag-aspirate ka lang dyan, no. And then you will streak it, no, in our eosin methylene blue, no. This media is a EMB, eosin methylene blue. And then you streak, no, the water aspirated from these two positive tubes. You streak it dyan sa ating plate media. And once you incubate it after 24 hours and you see, no, this kind of colonies which produces a green metallic sheen, that is indicative of a presence of your E. coli. No, that green metallic sheen is actually a characteristic of your E. coli. Nakakamiss magturo ng bakte. Parang gusto ko magturo ng bakte. Pero masakit sa ulo. Okay. This one, na ayan, yung mga indicators for the presence of coliform. So, yan, positive test. So, may change in the color, yung indicator, naging yellow, tapos naging cloudy. Yun pala. Another pala would be turbid, no, yung broth. And then, nagkaroon po ng air, no, may gas or yun nga, gel would rise to the surface. Pero kasi, yung ibang broth, hindi siya nagkakaroon ng gel. So, yun, gas, turbid, yellow color. Change in the indicator. Yan. And the one in your right is a negative test. So, kagaya dito sa tube dito. No, tatlong tube. Nasa left, positive. Nasa middle, positive. Yung nasa right, negative, which is yung red na color. Yan. Ito naman is an example of a testing for chlorine. No? Chlorine test. So, it's a DPD test. So, para malaman yung chlorine content dun sa water. Yan. And this one is also for water, a microbiological assay pa din siya. Okay. May iba-iba kasing way, no, to perform microbiological testing. No? So, yung kanina, this is multiple tube fermentation test, no, if I'm not mistaken. This one is a membrane filtration, no? So you perform uh filtration, no, using a membrane filter, and then you check the membrane filter for the presence of E. coli. Yeah. And this one is the par plate method. So still nutrient agar siya. Imimix mo yung water sample dun sa nutrient agar. Mimix mo sila. Tapos, hayaan mo siya mag-solidify. Pag nakita mo nag-grow yung colony in a solidified agar na may mixture ng water sample, it's a positive indicator, no, for the presence of coliforms, no. So, yun. Tama ba? Multiple tube. Wait. MTM. MTM. Tagal ko na kasing hindi nagturo ng bakte. I-verify ko na. multiple tube fermentation technique, yeah. The multiple tube fermentation technique, yung tawag ito sa test na ito. But you guys will know that, no, in your Bacti class, no, once you reach third year, no. But for, well, na-mention ko na yon yung mga yan. It might be included in the exam, no, pero please do focus dun sa law. Pero itong mga na-mention ko might be included kasi konti lang kasi may extra kong questions, no, dun sa mismong law. So, these mga nice to know might be included, no, in the questions na rin sa exam. Yeah. So, yan lamang. That's it, no, for this recording. Sorry, medyo nabubulol-bulol ako. No, it's already 11 o'clock in the evening. Naghahang na yung utak ko. No. Um, Yun lang. Please be prepared for the exam and then thank you so much.